Hello students, in this video tutorial we are going to discuss how a for loop operates and how the values of some variables change because of the statements inside the for loop. So all we want to discuss is just to look at exactly how variables change their values. An example we'll actually look at how the variables change their values because of a for loop. Now, first of all, we look at the program. This is our program, which is shown in the right half of the screen. The statements are a is equal to 5, b is equal to 7. Then we have a for loop for I in range 1 to 5. The for loop has 3 statements. Okay. Now, how do we know that it has which statements are part of the for loop? Clearly, this is these two lines which are showing the difference in indentation of the statements. Okay, the for and print, these words are written at the same indentation level, and these three statements are written at a slightly higher indentation level, and because of this difference in the indentation level only, we can tell that these three statements are part of the for loop, and this next print statement, the last print statement, this is not the part of the for loop. Now we discuss a few points about this program. The first is which instructions are part of the for loop. This we have already discussed, that it is the difference in indentation through which we identify which parts, which statements are the part of the for loop and which are not. Then the next point is instructions inside the loop are called the body of the loop. Okay, so these three statements are the body of the for loop. These are repeatedly executed. Okay, how many times it is executed, that varies from one loop to another. It is decided by what parameters are used to control the loop, but generally they are executed one or more times. Every such execution of the body is called an iteration. Okay, so every time this loop is executed, it is called an iteration. Okay, it is called an iteration. Now next, we want to see how the values of variables a and b, see these two variables, we want to see how they get affected inside the loop, how their values change iteration after iteration. That is what we want to see. Now the loop variable I, see the variable I here, this is known as the loop variable. Okay, it gets its values from the range function in this program. Okay, what the values of I are given from the range function. Okay, so now how does this range function works for this program? See, we have supplied two values 1 and 5. So 1 is the starting value and 5 is the stopping value. 1 is the starting value and 5 is the stopping value. So that means this range function gives the values 1, 2, 3 and 4. These 4 values are given to this loop variable I. Okay, so this is how this loop will work. The loop variable I will be getting these 4 values starting from 1 ending at 4, and these will be assigned to I one by one, and with these 4 different values of I, this loop will be executed. That means these 3 statements, which are the body of this for loop, will be executed 4 times with these 4 different values of I. The body of the loop gets executed with a different value of I every time. Now let us see how does this program executes. Okay, the first of all, we look at the two normal statements which are executed only one time. So when these two statements execute, then simply A is assigned the value 5 and B is assigned the value 7. So nothing extraordinary happens here. So after that we come to the for loop. Now after these two statements have been executed, so we have blurred them a little, and now what is in execution is this for loop. Okay, so as we just discussed, the body of the for loop gets executed 4 times with the values of I ranging from 1 to 4. So for the first time, for the first iteration, the value of I is going to be 1. Okay, now let us see what happens inside this for loop. What do these statements affect? How do they affect the values of A and B? See this first statement, A is equal to A plus I. What does it do? It calculates the right side, which is A plus I. So the present value of I is 5. It was set by this statement, and the present value of B is 7. Okay, so A and the value of I is 1, as we have seen. So A plus I is means we are adding 5 plus 1, so which becomes 6. And where does this value 6 go? It is assigned to A. Okay, so it is A is being assigned. See, A is equal to A plus I, this is written. So A is the variable which is being assigned this value 6. Okay, so the value of A, which was 5, now it has become 6. Right, now let us see the next statement. And the next statement is this: B is equal to A star B. Now A star B, see, now the value of A has become 6. It is not 5 now, and the value of B is 7. So what does A star B give us? It gives us 6 star 7. That means 6 multiplied by 7, so it becomes 42. And again, where does this value 42 go? It goes in the variable B. Okay, so B is assigned the new value 42. So, and after this we have this print statement. So what does this print statement do? It simply prints the values of A and B, which are now 6 and 42. The value of A is 6 and value of B is 42. Okay, so this completes one iteration of this for loop. Okay, the for loop has executed one time with value of I being 1. So after this iteration, we are in the situation that value of A is 6 and value of B is 42. Next, let us see what happens in the next iteration. So in the second iteration of the for loop, we will see that the next value of I is taken as 2. As we said, the value of i's are going to be 1, 2, 3 and 4 in 4 different iterations of the loop. So this one was its value in the previous iteration, in the first iteration, and in the second iteration the value of I is going to be 2. Now again we see that when the first iteration ended, we had that the value of A was 6 and value of B was 42. Now again these 3 statements are executed. Okay, so let us see what each statement does. See this statement, A is equal to A plus I. This statement, what does it do? Again it adds to the current value of I the current value of A is added to the current value of I. So present value of A is 62 and the value of I is 2. So 6 plus 2, that becomes 8. And where does this value 8 go? It goes into the variable A. Okay, A is being assigned this value, so A is assigned the new value 8. So similarly, we have the statement B is equal to A star B. So again the value of A has changed. It was 6 before this second iteration began, but because of this statement it has become now 8. So what do we get by A star B? A star B means 8, value of A, that is 8, is being multiplied by value of B, which is 42. So this gives us 336. Okay, and again this value A star B is being assigned to variable B, so B is assigned this new value 336. And again the print statement simply prints the values of A and B, 8 and 336. So as we can see, After this loop has completed, this the second iteration of the loop has completed, we are left with the values of a being 8 and the value of b being 336. Now let us see what happens in the third iteration. So this is the third iteration of the loop. This time the value of I is going to be 3, and as we just saw, the values before the beginning of this iteration, that means the values after the second iteration, at the end of the second iteration, and before beginning of the third iteration, the value of a is 8 and value of b is 336. Again these three statements are executed with the value of I being 3. Now let us see what this statement does. Again it adds I to the value of a. So value of a is 8 presently and value of I is 3. So 8 plus 3 gives us 11, and this 11 is placed into the variable a. So the new value of a becomes 11. A is assigned this new value 11. The next statement, b is equal to a star b. Now it uses the value of a. The new value is 11. So always the new value is used. So 11 is used, and it is multiplied by present value of b. So present value of b is 336. So we multiply 11 by 336, which gives us 3696. And this value 3696 is being assigned to the variable b. Okay, so the b is assigned new value 3696. Okay, so and the next statement is just the print statement, which prints the values of a and b. The latest value of a is 11 and the latest value of b is 3696. These two values are printed, and this completes the third iteration of this for loop. Okay, so at the end of this third iteration, we have the value of a as 11 and value of b as 3696. Let us see what happens in the last iteration. Now we are at the last iteration of the fourth loop, because we said the values of I are going to be 1, 2, 3 and 4 as per the values written in the range function. Okay, so uh, this time we are going to have I is equal to 4. Now let us see what this body of the loop does to our variables. Now the first statement, a is equal to a plus I. Again it calculates the present value of a plus new value of I. Present value of a is 11. So 11 plus 4, it gives us 15, and 15 is assigned to variable a. So the new value of a becomes 15. Now after this we come to this statement, b is equal to a star b. Now present value of a is 15, which is multiplied by present value of b, which is 3696. So 15 is multiplied by 3696, which gives us 55,440. Okay, so and where does this value go? Again it goes into the variable b only. B is assigned this new value. See, look at the statement, b gets the value a star b. Now the print statement, again it just prints the values of a and b, which are 15 and 55,440 respectively, and they are printed. So with the execution of this print statement, this fourth iteration of the loop also completes. Okay, and at the end of this fourth iteration, we are left with the final values of a and b, which are 15 and 55,440. Okay, so now the for loop has completely executed. No more iterations are remaining now. So now let us see the last statement. The last statement is simply to print and print the line, this statement is out of loop. So simply this line is printed, and that's all this program completes. So in this tutorial we wanted to see how exactly the values change because of the iterations of a loop. Thank you very much.